Tell us a bit about your culinary journey and what your experience has been like connecting with other cuisines and people who speak different languages and how you've been able to connect to those cultures and cuisines, maybe through language or your travels.
I think it's through all of that. In my point of view and why I love food so much, it's because it's a reflection of a culture. And you cannot isolate a cuisine or food from the history of where it came from. Uh, that's the beauty of that. That's why sometimes you have the same dish but different recipes because throughout the years, the heritage of your grandmother or wherever they came from, nuances changed, and I think food is a language all by itself, and usually a language of peace and togetherness because you can argue over food, but you'll never like flip a table, right? Or hopefully not. But I think especially in restaurants, everywhere you go, a kitchen is such a literally melting pot of languages because you do have people that come from different ethnicities and speak different languages. Not only in the States where you have a lot of Spanish, maybe in the kitchen in Israel, we had Romanian workers and Filipino workers. So you start picking the nuances. And yes, I know it's kitchen language, not always the nicest word in the vocabulary, but you pick on those nuances and how the tonation of how you speak to each other. And I love that. I think it's definitely another layer of why it's so fascinating. In the kitchen, in particular, being in such a high stress environment that is so socially congested, right? You're so close to one another. Kitchens are inherently small. You bump into people. You have very little time. You need to find the most efficient way to communicate and make sure that what you have said has been transferred, right? So if you're in a multi-lingual kitchen, you're probably going to veer to English to make sure. So orders will come in English. You will speak them out in English. You will say the word back heard, much like you say here, even in Israel. But the nuances of like how to say a fish or a shrimp in Filipino or something like that, because I need my prep person to go with clean more shrimp. You you really learn how to say that to make sure that the message is being transferred. And for me, it's also a matter of respect. I think there is an element of respect by making the effort to learn somebody else's language, even if it's nuances. I'm not expected to speak fluently, but just ask, hey, how do you say that? And repeat that. I think it's so respectful to somebody else to say that their language is just as important.